Great news as you're getting a stimulus package approved and stimulus checks in a couple of weeks, but Nancy Pelosi continues to play the, I just don't know what his name is game. The question is whether we're going to remember her in a couple of weeks from now as well. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Afternoons LALATE with great and exciting news. Congratulations and thanks for tuning in. This is Afternoons LALATE, our 2-hour programming block that starts every day at 3:30 with a check. Then goes to Hazard Pay. Boy, we have big developments on Hazard Pay. Then FPUC with also really great news about that today. Tune into that as well. And then we bring back rent because Hurricane Laura has dissipated, but we will still track her and any other hurricanes that develop. Exciting, great news about Patty Pelosi and Moving Meadows. They didn't wear purple today, but maybe if they had, they would have been a little bit more calm. The name calling, the stimulus checking, and the LWAing continued between these two today with really creating incredible news, which I'll be getting to shortly. And if you stay later to this video, I will have free money for you. Major grant free money programs just announced, and I have it for you. So it's a great day. Thanks for tuning in. All right. So Nancy Pelosi and Mark Meadows, by the time that this video will have been recorded, will have met again. Nancy Pelosi started the day slamming Mark Meadows as Mark Meadows started the day praising Nancy Pelosi. Someone just didn't have the right cup of coffee among these two. What's going on? Yesterday, I reported that Mark Meadows has really made an incredible effort to reach out to Patty Pelosi, but Moving Meadows himself has been confusing people with his proposals. He reached out to Patty Pelosi on Saturday when she was in town chasing a postman, which went really much of nowhere, and said, "Come on, meet with me, Nancy." And she didn't come to the room. So then he reached out to her chief of staff, asked for her number. Can I have Nancy's number? I saw her at the dance last week. Asked her number, then texted her, then asked to schedule time to speak with her, and said, "Hey, I think this is going to get done. This is Mark Meadows. I think this is going to get done. I think this is going to get done." He said in private, Nancy Pelosi wants a deal. In public, she generally, and when you meet her, she wants to do a deal. But when she talks to the press, she wants to act like she doesn't want a deal. He says it's a big charade. It's a big show. Meadows goes on to say that Pelosi's going to get the deal done in September, and that she's using the deadline of when the balanced budget, something else, the balanced budget is due to anchor getting stimulus done. What am I talking about? Boy, the balanced budget needs to be done by September 30th. If it's not done, the government shuts down. I mean, everything else is so wonderful. And so the balanced budget has to be done by both the House and the Senate. And so Nancy Pelosi, according to Moving Meadows, is doing that with this stimulus and getting them done both together, and is using that deadline as a way to get what she wants for stimulus. Interesting, Patty Pelosi. Well, that was how the day started. Mornings LA was a blockbuster. I mean, it's now the most watched morning news show on the net, but it was also our most watched morning broadcast ever, as we reported the incredibly great news that these two people are meeting today telephonically, not in person. And shortly after we recorded that video, Patty Pelosi got more petty. She held a press conference and streamed it on Facebook while my show was airing. How dare her? I mean, at least, wear some purple or something. Right when my show was airing. But we still beat you on ratings, honey. And she talked really tackily, insulting to Meadows, Moving Meadows. She referred to him as what is his name multiple times again. It was actually picked up, in CBS and ABC. I mean, everyone's reporting that the Speaker of the House is now calling the Chief of Staff of the President what is his name in every press conference. It's, it's not funny anymore. It's just tacky. I mean, if you want to insult someone, watch some Real Housewives episodes and get some better shade. But that's just not, after one or two times, a little too much. And then she started to trash the negotiations that's happening today before they even happen and basically dismiss them as much of nothing. I don't understand her purpose for this. I mean, more about that in a second. Let me tell you what she said. She said this could be a very short conversation if they're not willing to meet in the middle. We're not budging. Understand this. They have to move. I hope I reenacted that correctly for you. Then she called him, what is his name? Then she referred to Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin as just a staffer in the White House. Okay, boy, petty. They aren't trying anything. We've said to them, you're willing to meet in the middle. If they're willing to meet us in the middle, then we can sit down and talk. So this is you're calling me. This is her talking. I feel like I'm translating Rena and LVP. You're calling me. I'm returning your call. Are you ready to bring more money to the table? Boy. Talks between the sides have been sort of tense. Well, yeah, thank you, Captain Obvious. Senate Republicans are really exasperated with this, and Mitch McConnell, who is, the voice of reason when his brain cells are working, appeared at an event Thursday in Kentucky because he's out of town again. All he's doing is just, taking vacations. He was out of town in Kentucky, and he says, America needs relief. America needs stimulus relief and a second stimulus check right now, and America needs a stimulus relief now because it's not a bipartisan issue and America is hurting. Which Mitch McConnell is this? The Mitch McConnell in May said America's getting rich off the stimulus. America's staying home and not getting back to work. America doesn't need stimulus. I will wait till I see more economic data before I can figure out whether you need stimulus. Now he's like saying America needs stimulus, and I'm the patron saint of stimulus checks and stimulus packages. Maybe he got new bed sheets at home. I just don't know what's going on. I can tell you, I don't know if they're going to reach an agreement, but there is hope, and I think we need one now. I'm hoping that they can come together once again because coronavirus is not involved in the American election. It doesn't care who wins. Earlier this week, he said we need relief right now. We need checks to go out now. We need stimulus packages to be resolved now. Geez, can we get Mitch in the negotiation room? Meadows has said it's been Speaker Pelosi driving this train as a conductor more than anyone else. I think privately, now here's more great news. Meadows says that Nancy wants to do a deal. Meadows says that this is all sort of an act, and I got to tell you, I've seen people's personalities over my lifetime, whether it's Movie Meadows or Petty Pelosi, and I got to tell you, Petty Pelosi is playing a role, and the role is very obvious. It's so obvious what role she's playing, and I think people are now really realizing it. Whether it's children going hungry, or calling, saying we're not moving unless you do this. I think people are realizing this is just her strategy, and that's not going to go on forever. It's just maybe not go on till the weekend. Meadows said it's really been Speaker Pelosi driving the train, Hot Mess Express, as the conductor more so than really anybody else. And I think privately she has said she wants a deal. No, I read that wrong. Let me say it clear. I think privately she says she wants a deal, and publicly she says she wants a deal. But when it comes to dealing with me and the Republicans in the administration, we haven't seen a lot of action. Great. I mean, it's great news when you hear from Movie Meadows and when you hear from Nancy Petty Pelosi. It's just the Viper comes out. It's like a bad Tom Cruise movie. I think that the Speaker is going to hold out to the end of September. So here's the time frame, and try what she thinks she wants in the funding for stimulus during the government funding bill, or whatever funding mechanism happens to come at the end of September, says Meadows. So this is really great news that, I had said when or where and how is this going to happen. And Meadows basically flipped my concerns and made them great news. I had said that, hey, maybe Nancy wants to shut down the government. No, says Meadows. No. Movie Meadows says no. Petty Pelosi wants to use the September 30th deadline to balance the budget as a way to get everything she wants in the stimulus package. So, Movie Meadows just give her what she wants in the stimulus package. What's interesting news today is that Moving Meadows hasn't endorsed, nor talked about, nor bragged, nor promoted this skinny proposed Republican bill. And what I got to tell you is that Petty Pelosi sees that. Petty Pelosi has one thing, and that's the HEROES Act. And she has always said that, hey, the Republicans can't agree upon stuff. She's right. She's really right. And the great news about this today is that Moving Meadows' numbers, if you look at him as just the whole Republican Party, continue to move even today. Minutes ago, details about the latest draft of the Republican skinny bill puts the extension of FPUC benefits now at about $400 a week. When I say about, that's literally how it's phrased. Last week it was at the HEALS Act, it was at $200. Then the first draft of the skinny proposal was at about $200 to $300. Now it's at about $300 to $400. And Petty Pelosi is sort of picking up on that the Republicans can't agree upon things. We know that that Romney and Rubio wanted $400 a week for FPUC. They put it in their stimulus package. They wrote it in a standalone bill because they said $300 from Mitch's HEALS Act is insane. We can't do that. So Petty Pelosi is certainly picking up on that. So how much would you get on our second stimulus package? So this is the great news. $1,200. $1,200 for a single individual, $2,400 for a married couple, and if you're just flirting with someone, well, it's $1,200. Really great news. The also big great news is that dependents would get money. Under the first stimulus package, minor dependents got $500. No one thought that was enough money. And adult dependents got nothing, and they got zip. Really awful, especially for my viewers on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits. Why was that so bad? Well, a lot of those people that are on benefits are on someone else's tax return as what's called a dependent. They're on other person's tax return as a dependent. They don't file their own tax return. And because you're a dependent, for some reason, the first CARES Act, the first stimulus package said, hey, we're not going to give you a stimulus check. So they didn't get anything. Both Republicans and Democrats say, hey, you're going to get a stimulus check. You're going to get a second stimulus check, even if you're adult dependent. Great news. What's also really great news is that the dependents will likely get $1,200. The Democrats, their proposal says $1,200 second stimulus checks for all dependents, whether minor dependents or adult dependents. The Republicans want to do it as $500. I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to go to the mat. The president understands that he has a lot of voters that are in this group that he did not get stimulus checks to the first time around. He wanted them to get stimulus checks the first time around, and to have them not get a first stimulus check and now a second stimulus check is a watered down one, I don't think he's going to support that. So I really do think everyone's going to get $1,200, whether minor and adult dependent. So really great news. The other issue is child support. Child support would likely not be taken out with this stimulus check because that's the proposal the Democrats support, and it's likely where it's going to land. What I got to tell you is that if you are wondering about child support does not mean that a court locally could not take out for child support later on. But for purposes of sending the check for IRS to a person, that would likely not be intercepted for purposes of child support. Ultimately, you could make that fight later on, but not initially. Finally, the household. The Republicans sometimes wanted to make it a 4-person household, like they have smaller houses. I don't know what's going on. But the Democrats wanted to make it a 5-person household. I think it's going to be a 5-person household. 5 times $1,200, $6,000. So bam. A lot of money for everyone that's entitled to money. And unfortunately, if you have a 7 or 8 or 10 or mega, double Brady Bunch family, not everyone will get a stimulus check. Now, as the remainder of the stimulus package, there's a lot that's going to be coming. And I think everything is going to come to fruition. I think you're going to get hazard pay, which I'm going to cover up next. You're going to get FPUC extended, and it's going to be at $400 to $600 a week. Most of the states now that have participated and have been approved for PUA, for LWA, are paying $300 a week retroactively. Presuming that they do, I do think that you'll get the difference of that versus the new FPUC, and then FPUC going forward. FPUC will likely land at $400 to $600 a week. I've been reporting that for weeks. The latest skinny bill from the Republicans puts it about $300 to $400. I think they're going to land at $400 to $600. Eviction moratoriums will be issued. Mortgage forbearances will be issued. It's highly unlikely that we're going to drag this on any longer. And rent aid is sort of one of those things that we really don't know. So really great news across the board. How about some free money? How about some free money? So let's get to some free money. A lot of free money. Here's the website. I'll put it on the screen as well. LA COVID funds, fund, singular.org/grants. There are multiple levels of different grants being offered if you are in LA County, LA City, LA City. And the funds are these are grants. This is free money, and it's a lot of free money. First, micro entrepreneurs are eligible for $5,000 grants. These are people who work in the gig economy, street vendors, sole proprietors, independent contractors, 1099s, or LLCs with $100,000 or less in their most recent available tax return 2018 or 2019. You must have a 2018 or 2019 tax return to verify revenue. So boy, I mean, I'm just telling you $5,000 grants right now. I mean, this is like, Javita Carranza, but you don't have to do $1,000 per employee. So $5,000 if you're an Uber Lyft driver, $5,000 if you are, an Instacart driver, $500,000 if you makeup artist, $5,000, if you have a street vending truck. These are people who have revenue of $100,000 or less. Now you have to be in LA City. Next, micro entrepreneur. Next is very small. This is their name, not my name. These are the terms I created. I mean, they're very sort of tacky, but this is how I call them. Very small businesses are eligible for $15,000 grants. These are for-profit businesses that have yearly gross revenue of more than $100,000, but less than $1 million based upon available tax returns 2018 or 2019. You must be an active business with the California Secretary of State, and the businesses must be based in LA City and have a business tax registration certificate. $15,000 grant, Lord. Again, this is gross rev 2019, 100,000 or less, over 100,000 or more, less than 1 million. Gross rev. Gross rev is usually line 1 of your schedule. So if you have a Schedule C, it's line 1 or 1B or 1C. And if you have a 1120S, if you do it like an LLC or an Inc. Corporation, that's also line 1. Next one is very small nonprofits. They'll also get $15,000. You must have a Dun & Bradstreet number for this one, but you can't get a Dun & Bradstreet number. They're taking out the garbage for Mitch, next door. Finally, the big grant, and I don't mean, grants too. Small businesses to medium-sized businesses are eligible for a $25,000 grant. These are registered businesses who have annual gross rev of $1 million to $5 million based upon 2019 tax returns or 2018 tax returns, and you're an active business with the Secretary of State, and you have a business tax license in the City of LA. Boy, grants galore. 25,000, 15,000, 5,000. So go get yourself some money. I don't think it's first come, first serve. That, if I slightly recall, I'll drop it in the link below. And as always, coming up is some more excitement. Do me 3 favors. First, go to the front, go to this video, and if you like this video, or someone in Congress is really pissing you off, just take that fist and just hit that like button a few times. Just hit it good. That like button has really helped. This morning's LALATE broadcast was our most watched broadcast ever for the morning. on a show which has now become the most watched morning news show online. Thank you for your patronage. So hit that like button in this video and all the other videos that you watch today, because it helps the algorithm. When you like the video more than anything else, it helps the video go higher in the rankings before people that do this and this and this and this and tell you, you're getting a $20,000 stimulus check tomorrow, which you're not. All that crapola out there, which I don't even refer to. It helps get the correct news, this video, ahead of everyone else. So please like the video, and you really did it this morning. Thank you so much. Also, this is so you and I can communicate. Go to the front of this channel and hit the subscribe and the bell button, the alert button. And make sure you're publicly subscribed, so you'll see a little bell next to your name. If you don't, you may want to unsubscribe and then resubscribe. I have instructions in the pinned comment below. That way, one, I know you're a subscriber, so I won't ignore you, like whatever your name is. I won't go Petty Pelosi on you. Two, when something happens like this, I can send it in the community, which is a section of this channel where I can send alerts. So something happens, like a change in Laura or something like that, Hurricane Laura, I can send you alerts. And there you go. A lot of great news, a lot of great day. The day's turning up good. Stay with me for some really more exciting great news today. As always, stay informed, stay motivated, stay smiling, and stay in LA for more.